and welcome to DudeCast TV. I'm your host, Norman Dexter, where I'm a dude who's going to talk about some shit. And today I did have an entire script set up for what I want to talk about. I started recording it a few minutes ago, stopped, and deleted it because it's not where my head's at today. It's not what I want to talk about. Instead, I'm going to riff because tomorrow I turn 30. The dirty 30, if you will, where I guess I am throwing a funeral for my youth, maybe? No, I'm joking. Turning 30, people call it a milestone. It just feels like another day to me. It doesn't feel like some big milestone. It doesn't feel like a big deal. I'm just aging. That's normal. The only difference is I'm noticing a few gray patches in my beard. That's about it. Otherwise, nothing has really changed. But for whatever reason, it's another decade, and people seem to want to make a big deal out of it. So I'm going to riff on turning 30 and what it means to me. I'll start with what's going on this week. My birthday is, the older I've gotten, the less I've cared about it. When I'm with girlfriends and they ask me, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, you. They ask me what I want for Christmas. I'm like, you. That's all I want. The people that I love in my life, I just want them. Whether it's a girlfriend or my friends or my family, that's it. That's all I want. Just want to spend time with them. That's all I really want. I don't have much of a materialistic desire for things. There's very little that I need. Anything that I do need is too expensive for me to ask for in a gift. Things like gym equipment, or a car, things like that. So it's really hard for me to ask for things that I want because, I got this shirt, I'm pretty sure, for Christmas a year or two ago. And I'm wearing it today because me and the girlfriend are going out to celebrate for my birthday today. And there's the new Dragon Ball Z movie out, so we're going to go see that. She has zero interest in Dragon Ball Z, but she wanted to do something for my birthday, so this is what she wanted to do. And I'm thankful for it. It's nice. Um, but there's nothing that I really want from people other than to do things. So a good example of that, other than me and my girlfriend doing what we're doing today, is my friends Meredith and Misty. The three of us, our powers combine, and we form the three cunts. That's what we call ourselves. Like the three musketeers, but cuntier, right? And so Meredith, Misty, and I, we love stand-up comedy. And Louis C.K. just released a movie depicting the life of a fictional comic, but it's kind of based loosely off of the life of a comic named Joe List. And Joe List plays himself, but again, different name because it's not really his life, but it's a comic that's based off of him loosely. And I love Louis C.K., and I really want to see this movie because it sounds fucking hilarious. And so I suggested, when Meredith and Misty asked me, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, well, this movie costs $15. I'm very fucking cheap. And unless I have somebody to watch this with, I'm never going to fucking buy it. And I'm never going to fucking watch it. So if you guys want, we can get together and we can hang out. We can watch this movie. And they're like, I spent $15 on my dog last night. Yeah, I'll buy this movie so we can watch it. So I might do something like that this weekend. We shall see. And then I'm going to go out to dinner with my parents and hopefully my aunt and uncle tomorrow night. We're going to go to Buca di Beppo, which is an Italian joint with enormous portions of scrumptious Italian food. And I'm going to eat my weight in pasta in the form of baked ziti and chicken parm. Can't fucking wait. But that's it. That's turning 30 for me. In terms of where I've come with my life, I can definitely say that when I was 20 and 25, when I was 15, 10, this is not where I thought it would be at 30. If you would have asked me at 25 where I would be at 30, I probably would have told you married with kids or something like that. And if you would have asked me at 28, I would have said something similar to now, probably. But these last 2-3 years have been extremely formative for me. Most of my 20s, I was so caught up in school, bodybuilding, and building a career for myself as a trainer. Those are my three main focuses. And, to an extent, those are all still parts of what I focus on. But things have changed quite a bit. I no longer am seeking out marriage and kids. That is probably the biggest change of my 20s and really my life. I'm very happy with my current situation. I'm very happy being polyamorous and having no expectations. No one's expecting me to provide them a child. Nobody is expecting me to provide them my hand in marriage. And I like that because I get to just enjoy the person or persons. That's the other thing about polyamory. While currently I'm not looking for another partner, the fact that I have the freedom to have another partner at some point is, well, that's nice for me. It it affords me the opportunity to have more authentic experiences with people where I am unrestricted. Now, I say unrestricted in that I can pursue it, but I do so with grace, meaning I am not just recklessly going out and trying to sleep around or find random relationships. I take these decisions very seriously. So, as an example, yes, I'm polyamorous. Yes, my girlfriend is married. However, if I was to just go out on a date and then she just find out about it, she's going to be fucking devastated. Because I didn't tell her, I didn't communicate with her that I was having this desire or urge to meet someone new. And that would make her feel like shit. Now, here's the thing, we've had this preemptive conversation wherein her and I have decided that if I do feel the need to meet someone new, I should tell her about it so that she's aware of it. And I agree, that's probably the right fucking thing to do. Because she's going to have to mentally and emotionally prepare for that. That there's going to be a new person in my life that is going to be engaging with me intimately. Whereas currently she's the sole recipient of anything intimate coming from me in her life and in mine. She is the only one that I interact with in that way. And so for me to be interacting in that way with someone else, that's a bit of a blow. Now, ultimately, she's accepting of that and she's respectful of my needs and desires. So if I do so choose to pursue somebody, she would be accepting and respect that. But I handle that delicately. If that's something that I want one day, that's something I'm going to bring to her preemptively. So, out of respect, she's aware that she is not lesser than, she's doing nothing wrong. This is not because of something she is unable to provide me. It's just, I have a desire. I have an urge to fulfill. I'd like to explore that. I don't want anything with her to change. I love her, and I don't want her to change, and I can't ask her to change. Sometimes you just want new experiences, whatever it is. Now, again, I can't look into the future and see, well, what's next. But what I can do is I can have a frank conversation with her about, hey, I just want you to be aware of this. And she's going to feel ungood about that. She's going to feel like a sack of fucking hot garbage if and when that day comes. But we love each other. We'll process it together and we'll get through it. Because it has no bearing on how good of a partner she is. And it has no bearing on asking her to change anything. Our lives together will remain the same, largely. And there will be boundaries and there will be certain needs and emotions that will be expressed that will persevere and preserve our relationship because of that. Because we'll communicate through and get through it together. And that's a really cool thing. Some people just, they tend to think about polyamory as this way of, air quotes, not sacrificing. And it's very strange because the idea of getting married to somebody and staying monogamous, it's very strange to say that that's making a sacrifice. I understand why they say that. They're sacrificing their freedom to be with whoever they want, but it's very cryptic. I don't like that. It makes it sound like marriage is a trap. Which, again, I've become very disenchanted with marriage, but it doesn't mean it's a trap, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong for people. I think if you want to get married, you should get married. I don't know if I ever will, but we'll see. Same with kids. I don't know if that's going to ever happen, but if it does, we'll see how that goes. But that's definitely, the whole polyamory thing is definitely the biggest wrench in the gears that is what I thought my future would be, for sure, and by far. I also thought that training was going to take a back seat after I graduated. I thought that once I finished all of my schooling, training would be a part-time gig, and I would pursue a career in something. I never really knew what. I just knew that getting all the schooling that I did, I was probably going to be working somewhere at like a hospital or maybe some corporate gig where I was working in the health and well-being department, helping employees stay healthy to bring down their insurance costs, bring up productivity for the job, or for the company. But that ultimately never worked out. There are no jobs available for that right now that I can find. And so I had to lean into the training. And turns out what I'm currently doing is basically what I could have done before I even went back to school, which kind of fucking sucks. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm very happy with how things are going. I'm very happy with the fact that I'm building a gym. That this is kind of a dream that I've always had, to own my own business, to work for myself, and to build my dream gym, my dream space is pretty fucking cool. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the many adversities that I've faced. That's both for my career and for the polyamory. If it wasn't for the bullshit relationships I've been in, it wouldn't have led me to this fantastic situation of being polyamorous that I currently thrive on. And it's the same thing with my personal training career. I'm thriving right now and really enjoying my time as a trainer and enjoying the business that I've built completely by myself and what it's becoming. And it's happened because of the adversity that I've been thrust into. And I really am thankful for that. As far as the bodybuilding is concerned, I still do it, obviously. I still have some decent amount of muscle on me. But getting older and having an accumulation of injuries has affected me for sure. No matter how safe, no matter how technical I am, and no matter what precautions I seem to take, I'm always learning more about my body. And I have to take a couple steps back and take a few steps forward to progress. Certain aspects of my body has continued to improve, but others have stagnated because of overuse injuries, particularly in the last year or so. I threw my back out last June. Well, I guess technically 2 Junes ago now, but in 2021, June 2021, I threw my back out. Had to recover from that. Um, Earlier this year in 2022, I had some hip problems, some hip overuse problems that I'm still kind of dealing with. And then about 2 months ago, I had a rotator cuff strain in my left shoulder. Thankfully, that is finally getting better, and I'm finally getting back to what I should be doing. But I had to trail things back. I was going a little too hard in the paint, and I wasn't listening to my body. And so I'm starting to take on more rehabilitative practices. I'm starting to maintain my intensity during my workouts, but I'm starting to space them out a little bit more so I can get more recovery. Because as a natural bodybuilder, I don't have the super special supplements to help me recover as quickly, and so I have to kind of turn down my intensity a little bit. Not during the workouts. During the workouts, I go balls to the wall as best as I can. But the frequency of those intense workouts that I can have each week, particularly as I begin to age, I can't do what I used to do, particularly if I want to continue to improve. I'm definitely glad that I have become masterfully capable of pressing that fuck it switch. For those of you who don't know what the fuck it switch is, it is the ability to say fuck it and do something. To wake up in the morning, say fuck it, and just get out of bed rather than hit the snooze button. To say fuck it and prep your food rather than just skip it and go get something from a fast food joint. To say fuck it and clean your whole ass house when you know it needs to be cleaned rather than put it off. To say fuck it and put your laundry away that's been sitting in the corner for 3 weeks. But more specifically in this case, to say fuck it and work out as hard as humanly possible so that I'm laying on the fucking floor when I'm done. And I like that I can flip that fuck it switch. It's a really cool skill to have, and I'm very thankful for it. So, even if I don't hit all of my bodybuilding and strength goals as the years progress, if I've peaked or whatever, which I don't think I have, I think my 30s are going to be my peak decade, but we'll see. So I think between 30 and 40, I'll hit my peak, probably sometime in there. But even when I start to go on the downward trend of fitness and health as I continue to age, I'm still going to push the envelope as hard as I can. Because it's fun for me. It's a good time. Bodybuilding has very much taken the seat of a hobby for me. It is something I thoroughly enjoy. I probably will never compete again. I probably have no aspirations of seeking a pro card anymore, just because it seems so very worthless. Just like marriage, I've become very disenchanted with the sport of bodybuilding in terms of me competing in it. I just want to work out because I like to work out. Frank McGrath is probably one of my favorite examples of this. He's really built his own sort of place in the industry, and it doesn't involve competing. And I think he's better for it. And I think I'm very much the same. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be some famous person in the industry like Jeff Nippert or fucking more plates, more dates with Derek um, or whatever. There's plenty of people that have gained notoriety in the bodybuilding industry and the fitness industry. I don't really need that. I don't really care to do that. That's not the content I want to create. I like doing this. I like creating this content, which I guess puts me firmly in the self-help category, which is cringy as hell. But I like talking about this stuff. I like talking about ways that you can improve your life. So that's kind of where I am. Maybe one day I'll look at all these podcasts and I'll expand on some of the points that I make, and I'll turn each podcast into a fucking chapter in a book or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll release a book. Maybe it'll do well, and maybe that'll reach more people too. But we'll see what happens. It's a thought that I've had. Other than that, I am just, as 30 gets closer and closer, here we are, less than 12 hours away. In fact, let's see, it's 3:58, so I am 8 hours and 35 minutes away from turning 30. Uh, I don't know, man. I'm really happy with where I am with my family. Uh, After the issues we had with the medical scare with my mom early this year, I think I've done a decent job of beginning to deepen my relationship with her. Um, we definitely don't butt heads nearly as much as we used to, that's for damn sure. And I've always had a close relationship with my dad, and I think I've gotten a little bit of a better relationship with my brother too. And I'm really, really thankful for the time that I have with my extended family, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. Um, Particularly after COVID has finally kind of tapered off, and we can finally get together for family gatherings again. I'm really enjoying my time, and I can't wait to have this gym built and in a sort of self-sustained spot so that I can start to give back to like my family members and my friends. Like, hey, if you want to come to the gym, come to the gym, and I'll help you out. Things like that, but also it'll afford me things like maybe I can take my parents on a vacation. Maybe I can afford to do nice things for the people that I care about in my life. I mentioned Meredith and Misty, the two-thirds of our three cunts group. I definitely, the two of them mean so much to me, and I've gone out of my way in recent weeks to tell them that, like, my life has improved drastically since meeting them. Our group chat on Snapchat is called the Trauma Bonding group chat because we all basically became close friends over probably the worst experience in Misty's life, if not one of the worst experiences in Misty's life. And it's been a really interesting journey ever since. I love those two so much. They are my closest friends, and there's a lot that I would love to be able to do for them. Not so much as like a giving back or thankful thing. It's just it brings me joy to do things for people, and I would love to like take them on a trip or just I don't know, have them over more often to do things. In fact, my first ever podcast recording was with them, and unfortunately my technical capability wasn't very high at the time. I was fully unskilled in podcasting by that point, and I have the recording, but the audio is fucking trash. And I can guarantee you there will be a trauma bonding podcast where the three cunts will be on display for the world's entertainment. But that's my main goal, because when we do talk and we do get together, the shit that we say is so fucking funny and sometimes oddly deep, but it is a good time. And my interactions with those two, I really look forward to sharing with you all someday. Oh, what else? This is the problem with riffing. I don't have any idea where I'm starting or where I'm going or where I'm going to end. But I'm turning 30. I'm getting gray in my hair. I have aches and pains. I'm lactose intolerant. It's weird. Um, I don't know, man. I'm one of the eldest in my graduating class from high school, so I see all of my peers talking about how they're getting closer and closer to 30, a lot of memes and so on. I'm like, and here I am a day or two away. It really isn't a big deal, though. I don't really care when I turn 40, 50, 60. It doesn't, it won't really matter. I'm just going to keep trying to live in the present and live my best fucking life. And I want to be as respectful and show gratitude wherever I can along the way. So there are some people in my life now that may not be in my life next year or 5 years from now or 10 years from now. And I don't want to regret my time with those people. If they leave my life because I fucked up or because we grow apart, that's fine. That's part of growing older. That's what happens. But I want to make sure that I do everything I can to not shit the bed. I want to be as respectful and thankful for my time with them as possible while they're still in my life. Whether that's elderly family members that pass away, or that's friends or romantic partners that our relationship runs its course. I want to be the best man that I can be in whatever capacity that is for that relationship. That is really one of the most important things for me. Everything from my business interactions to my romantic relationships. I really just want to approach every situation understanding that I have a part to play and I really want to play that part to the best of my ability, whatever that part may be. And that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I have these goals with this gym and my career, but like one day that's going to be built. One day the gym will be paid off, and then what? I can travel, I guess, or maybe I'll have a kid. I don't know. Um, there's a lot that you can do in this life, and that's the cool thing about having the freedom to choose what you want to do with your life. And that's where I am. Ultimately, as somebody who is going to become a 30-year-old in the 21st century in 2022, I am very happy. I am very thankful that I'm in a position where I control what comes next. I control what I can do. I have the freedom to pick and choose what kind of a life I want to live. And there are very few people in my age group that can make that decision. Whether they're hampered down by debt, whether they're in a committed relationship or have kids that kind of prevent them from making certain decisions and doing certain things, that that is something that prevents them from acting with total freedom. I have none of those constraints. And that's really interesting. There are very few people who make it to 30, never been married. In my case, it was somewhat by choice and somewhat through bad luck. But in the end, I'm happy for it and I'm thankful for it. There are a lot of people who turn 30 and are very uh, resentful of the fact that they aren't married yet with kids. But I'm very thankful because I feel like I was not ready for that. If it would have come any time when I was wanting it, I guarantee that I would be a shitbag disaster of a human being right now. I'd be miserable and it would not be good. It would not look good because I would have realized I probably would have settled. And I'm glad that I have never settled for something in my life. I have just picked up and moved on, sometimes very slowly and sometimes with a lot of resistance, but I'm really happy with where I am. I'm very, very happy with the life that I have made for myself. And yeah, that's turning 30 for me. That is the life that I've lived up to this point. I'm very happy with it. So, if you stuck around and listened to this whole thing, God bless, because I gotta say, it's all about me this time. That's pretty rare. I don't usually talk about me all that much. But if you listen to this podcast on a regular basis, maybe you have an interest in me and maybe you want us to know. I know some people are like that. I know when I'm listening to my favorite podcasts, I like hearing personal facts about the hosts, and it's a good time for me. Like a good example, my favorite podcast, The Snark Tank, Chris Raygun just moved across the country again. And that's interesting to me. I like to know about the content creators that I follow, and for whatever reason, it's interesting to me. Hopefully, it was for a good reason, and hopefully, he's happy because those guys and those podcasts that I listen to, I enjoy the content they create, and I want them to continue making it. And if they're living their best life, if they're happy, if they're having a good time, if they're not burning out, well, then they'll continue to make that content. So I selfishly want them to be happy so that they can continue to make content for me to consume. The Joe Rogan podcast, the Cleared Hot podcast with Andy Stumpf. There are several podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis that I like knowing about these guys. I like to hear about their life, and I like hearing that they're doing well. So maybe if you listen to my podcast, you like to hear that I'm also doing well. And I'm here to tell you that I am. I'm very, very happy with my life and how far I've come. So if you enjoy listening, please like and subscribe. It helps. Not a lot, because maybe 10 of you will watch this, but it's not 0. So it makes me happy. Thank you for listening. Maybe I'll release a podcast with actual purpose, pun intended, because what I was going to talk about today was something called preparation with purpose, which is hilarious, but I don't know. Last week, I kind of did an impromptu discussion without really much preparation, and today I was going to talk about literal preparation, and decided, fuck it, I didn't feel like it. I figured I'd tell you guys what it's like being 30. So, anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm going to close it off there. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe, like I said. It would make me really happy. Be a nice little birthday gift. But, yeah, that's life at 30 for me. That guy, that dude who talks some shit. Hope you enjoyed. Fuck me. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
It's time to put our times behind. Get all the bad things off your mind. He's feeling good, she's feeling good, we're feeling good, yeah. Just hanging out, just having fun, we're number one. Just hanging out, just having fun. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. There's nothing better than your friends, there's no problem you can't win. Someone who's always got your back, not caring about this or that. Just hanging out, just having fun, we're number one. Just hanging out, just having fun. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, hey. It's all about meeting new faces. The smiles on your face and you can't erase it. Partying on, it's going on, huh? Partying on to the break of dawn. Oh, it's time to put hard times behind. Get all the bad things off your mind. Just hanging out, just having fun. We're number one. Just hanging out, just having fun. Just hanging out, just having fun. We're number one. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude. We're all dudes, hey. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude. We're all dudes, hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing now? Oh.